Hello, this is Dawn over at Plot Chronicles. I want to tell you about an excellent historical fiction book that I read in the month of August. Let's get started. I do mostly read thrillers. I'm going to say 85% of the time, and the other 15% I might do some self-help, some just regular fiction, historical fiction, love stories, things like that. But this book, I would put it in the fiction/historical fiction. It's by Danielle Steele, which I've read almost all of her books, and I really enjoy many of them. I do want to say this before I tell you this book. Part of the reason that I like Danielle Steele is I find her books easy to read. You know, some books and some authors, they start off strong and then they lag in the middle. Or they're just so slow burn that they don't even get to a really decent plot until too far in when it's already lost your interest. What I like about Danielle Steele is she doesn't introduce too many characters, and she starts off right away, so it grabs you right away, and they're just easy to read. Also, they're not too long. I don't even think that this book was 400 pages, if I remember correctly. But the title of the book is called Far From Home, Historical Fiction, and it took place during 1944, right around that time period. The girl, and I think her name is Ariel, if I'm pronouncing it right, she's half French, half German, happily married to someone named Gregor, who is German, okay? Well, anyway, I'll just say this because this doesn't take away from the story, because you know this just from reading a little bit about it. Well, her life totally changes when her husband passes away, and I won't go into why he passes away because, like I said, I always try to give spoiler-free what I call reviews and try not to give away too much. That way you can find out yourself. So here she is, supposed to meet her husband in Paris. She's living a wonderful life, and, she has clothes. She gets to go out to dinners. She's living, and her husband treats her well. She has 2 grown children. She has a son and a daughter. The daughter's recently married, and they're living their own life. And so just a little bit about that. Now, this was during the wartime with Hitler and all of that. And so I'll just say this, her husband didn't like what was going on during that time. I will say that without giving anything away. So because of how her husband passed away, she has to flee and go live somewhere else. She cannot be in Berlin. So she has to flee, and so she goes to France, and she lives there, but her life is totally different. Well, something happens with the daughter also, and her life is turned around, and she's living this. So it really talks about these families and what they're going through, how their families are separated, torn apart. Now, Danielle meets somebody from, I think he's from Germany, and he had to flee, and his wife and daughter are missing. And so this is the story of that. And so Ariel and this guy named Sebastian become friends, and they're trying to find his family. And it's just a really good story. And it's a story about people sticking together, love, hope, family, and what you do during the toughest times of your life. You might be living a wonderful life. You have everything you need, enough food, enough clothing. You're able to go to parties. You're able to enjoy your life. And your life can change overnight. And this happened during history. But I thought it was an excellent book. It's probably one of my favorites of the books I've read in the last 5 years. And it was easy to read and easy to follow and understand what was going on. So it's called Far From Home. I also love the cover. I'm going to list it below. Let me know in the comments below. Do you guys read any of Danielle Steele's books? I'd love to know. That's all I have to say for now. Love you, appreciate you, and I hope to see you on the next video. Bye, everybody.